So hi everyone, this is Nikhil and I welcome you to the first video of module 2 of the internship on 3D printing AZ, a practical guide to the world of 3D printing. In module 2, that is on week 1, we are going to upload videos in 4 parts. In the first 2 parts, we will see the basics of Fusion 360 in 2D and 3D, and in the third part, we will see the basics of how to use Ultimaker Cura to slice your models and send them to your 3D printer. And in the final part, we will see some design exercises. So, more learning resources will be shared on email. The detailed hourly breakup and schedule of the videos to be uploaded is already shared with you in this Excel sheet. So, we are currently in week 1, and in week 1, we are going to cover module 2. And in module 2, we have Introduction to Fusion 360, Introduction to 3D printing workflow, and Introduction to the slicing softwares. So, today we will see the basics of sketching in 2D and the basics of 3D modeling in 3D. So this is going to be your part 1. Okay, and in part 2 we will see a few more exercises on Fusion 360, and in part 3 we will see how you can slice your CAD model and how you can send it to your 3D printer. That will be part 3, and the final practical exercises will be in your part 4. So as part of this internship, we will also be learning something about value engineering. So this was a seminar presentation I gave in Andhra University, and in this PPT I have explained how you can apply value engineering to improve practical products and how you can improve the existing design and how you can reduce the cost, and I have taken the example of a toy car. So as we go along, I will be deeply discussing on what exactly is value engineering and all that. But for now, let's focus on the designing part. So as you have seen this picture on LinkedIn, so we will try to design this particular toy car part by part, and we will be trying to 3D print each part, and we will be also trying to see how we can assemble each and every part and how we can make this uh, car, that is toy car, practically available into the market. So we will be seeing from the design stage itself, and we will see how we can practically develop a complicated product like this one. So as part of this first video, we will see how we can design this particular battery cover which you are seeing on the bottom right corner. So don't worry if this design looks very complicated. We will be seeing it one by one, and a few of the parts will be assigned to you as your design exercise, and a few of the parts will be assigned to you as assignment. So before we dive in, let me quickly go through what is Fusion 360 and how you can start designing with Fusion 360. So after you sign into your Fusion 360, this is how the model workspace is going to look like. So in the top right hand corner, you can see your name, and once you click on that, you can see Autodesk account, preferences, my profile, share feedback, and sign out. So I want you to click on preferences. After you click on preferences, a window like this will open. Go to the top left hand corner and click on general. And under the general, you scroll down and you will see something known as pan, zoom, and orbit controls. So here I want you to be sticking with Fusion 360 because you will be more familiar with Fusion 360, but you can try out if you are already a SolidWorks user or if you are already an Autodesk Inventor user, you can use those settings. But for now, we will assume that we will try Fusion 360 settings. And I want you to pay little more attention into default modeling orientation. So in some of the CAD softwares, the vertical direction is going to be y-axis, but it will be a little bit confusing if you start designing with your y-axis as the vertical orientation. So I want you to be keep this with z upwards. So after this, another thing that you need to pay attention is your default units. So in the left hand menu wizard, if you look down, you can see something known as default units. Click on default units, and inside the default units you will have design. Click on that design. Inside the design, it will ask you what are the default units which you will be using. We will be using millimeters all through the course, but based on your project requirements, you can either use centimeters or meters or inches or feet. So I will stick with millimeters for now, and lastly I will click on OK. So now we have seen what are the basic preferences that you should set up before starting to use Fusion 360. And secondly, there is something known as Project Manager. For that, go to the top left hand corner on your screen and you will see this Show Data Panel icon. Click on these small little boxes and a menu bar opens up like this one. This is going to be your Project Manager. So this is like your file manager where each and every design will be saved in a project folder. So as Fusion 360 is a cloud-based software, whatever the designs you do will also be saved in cloud. In the later point of time, we will also discuss how you can share your designs with the cloud, how you can share your designs with your friends and all that. But for now, let's click on this new project. Inside the new project, I will say toy car design. So this is going to be my root project. I will click on hit enter. And after giving it a little time, you can see that a project known as toy car design has been created. I want you to double click on the folder which you have just created and you can see something like this. On the top of this menu, you will have a data tab and a people tab. People tab is something which you will be using to collaborate with other designers, but for now we will only focus on data tab. On this data tab, you can see upload or a new folder. So whatever the designs which you do currently in the workspace will be saved into this particular toy car design folder, which you can see on this note. Saved and updated files will appear here. So as we develop more and more models, all those design files will be saved into this folder, and similar to any file manager, you can use to create copies, you can use to move your design files into various folders, and you can also share your designs with others by using this people tab. But for now, I will close this data panel and let's dive into what you can do with this design workspace. And before that, I also want to share that we are currently in the design workspace. If you hover your mouse onto this design workspace, you can see change workspace that comes up. If you click on that, you can see design, generative design, render, animation, simulation, manufacture and drawing. So these are the various workflows that are available inside of Fusion 360. So we will be mostly using the design workspace itself, but based on our requirements, you can also try explore these by watching various available resources online. So before we start designing into this, let me also tell you that before you start, you need something known as origin. So origin is the XYZ coordinate from which the whole design part is going to be associated with. So for that, if you go to this origin folder, there is something known as a small kind of an icon which is being hidden. Please click on that and you can see the three default planes of XY, YZ and XZ. These are the three default planes which you should start working with, and as we go along, we will see how you can create your own planes. So now let me walk you through the basic workflow. So the Fusion 360 design workflow is done in 4 steps. I want you to get these 4 steps by any means. So the first step is to select a plane or a face in 3D workspace and click sketch. So after we click on select plane and we click on sketch, we will be entering from 3D into 2D. So after we enter from 3D to 2D, we will be start sketching the closed profile. We will be later seeing what is meant by a closed profile and an open profile later. But for now, let's see that this is similar to the Microsoft Paint or AutoCAD which you might have used in your college days. So after we are done with the sketch, we should exit the sketch, and after you exit the sketch, the workspace will enter from 2D and back into 3D. So after you enter your 3D workspace back from the sketch, that's exactly where your actual model development happens. So we will be performing various model operations on the sketch which you have drawn in 2D. to add material or to remove material or to modify the material. So whatever the object which you are trying to design in Fusion 360 happens in these 4 steps. So the workflow is pretty much exactly the same either you are using CATIA or SolidWorks or any other software, but this is the workflow which you need to remember as a CAD designer. So we will go to the first step and see how you can develop a sketch inside Fusion 360. So you can see 3 planes here. One is XY plane, another is XZ plane, and another is YZ plane. So I want to select the XY plane. So if you hover over your mouse onto this XY plane, the plane gets grayed out. It means it is going to get selected. I will click on that particular plane and it gets highlighted in blue color. Once it gets highlighted in blue color, I will go to the main menu bar and you can see something known as create sketch. So this is the option which you will be using during most of the times, and this is the primary part which you will be using to develop anything. I will click on that and you can see very soon the workspace enters from 3D into 2D. So this is pretty much similar to AutoCAD. So you can see in the model, you can see line, rectangle, circle, spline, mirror. All these are various commands which you will be using. So in AutoCAD, we will have various commands which you will be entering into the workspace. But in Fusion 360, you don't have any commands. You only use it using the toolbar. So this is your toolbar. So let's try out and see what you can do with this. So you can use this particular inverted triangle here and you will be able to see in more details of what are all the options available in this menu. So firstly we'll see rectangle, and again in rectangle you have 3 sub options known as 2-point rectangle, 3-point rectangle and center rectangle. I recommend you to use center rectangle in most cases, but based on requirement you can also use 2 points and 3-point rectangles. So for now I will click on this particular center rectangle. So after you click on center rectangle, it says place center point. And also you can see that my mouse has been showing the crossbars of vertical crossbar and horizontal crossbar. That indicates that you are inside the sketch and certain command is active. So I will slowly go back, and as you can see, if I click on this particular origin, my cursor is turning into blue color rectangle. So that particular blue color rectangle is nothing but your snap point option. So snap is nothing but a way in which you can precisely select the particular point which you want to select. Okay, this is pretty much similar to AutoCAD. So if you are very much familiar with AutoCAD, you can easily learn this Fusion 360 in very less time. So for now I will click on this particular origin, and after I click on the origin, and if I move my mouse, you can see the rectangle is going to be created in a dynamic way. So it is saying me to specify size of the rectangle. So there is a little bit of more advanced way in which you can give dimensions inside Fusion 360. So we will see them all in more detail now. So what you can do is either you can click a particular point for deciding your rectangular size, or either you can give individual dimensions, or either you can use dimension lines and edit them later. So we will see that one by one. So I will click on this particular point, and very soon my rectangle got created. And now if you click on the middle mouse scroll button on your mouse, you will be able to move and pan in this design. So after it is done, click on escape on your keyboard. After clicking escape on your keyboard, you will come out of that command, and now you can easily move your design like this. So now I have given some random rectangle and I want to give dimensions to this rectangle. So how do I do that? For that, go to the top menu bar and again and say sketch dimension. There is something known as sketch dimension option. Click on that, and after you click on, you will get your cursor in black color. Click on this particular line. So now you can see, if you bring your mouse it highlights that particular line. So if you click on this particular line, it shows up a dimension like this. So it is saying 140.00, which means 140 mm. So it doesn't matter wherever you click, it only creates a dimension line, but it is not going to affect the actual dimension. So let me click on somewhere, and after you click, it asks for the dimension. For now, I want this dimension to be 100 mm. So I will give 100 on my keyboard and hit enter. And as you have entered 100 and pressed enter on your keyboard, you can see that the model gets adjusted itself, and now the rectangle is of 100 mm length. And you can see the cursor is still active, which means you are still active in your command. So now if I go and click on this vertical line, it is going to give me the dimension of the vertical side. I will again click here wherever I want, and it says 71.428571 mm. So that much is the precision of Autodesk Fusion 360. So now I will say 50 and hit enter. So after I say hit 50 and enter, you can see that the rectangle size is automatically updated. So now I will hit escape. So let's say you have done a mistake in giving out your dimensions. What you should do? It's very easy. Go ahead and click on the dimension line and double click it. If you double click it, it will open for editing. Now I will say 150. And if I say 150, automatically the length gets updated to 150. And similarly, I will go ahead and double click on this 50. And very soon it opens up, and I will say 80. After I hit 80 and hit enter, the height of the rectangle becomes updated to 80 mm. So now that I am happy with the sketch, I want to come out of this sketch. See in the workflow that I have given. Select the plane face in 3D and click on sketch. We have done this part. Start sketching in 2D on this selected plane. So we have created our sketch and we have drawn a rectangle. So step 2 is also done. And step 3 is to exit the sketch and come out of 2D and enter the 3D workspace. So for that, there is an option called as Finish Sketch on the top right hand corner with a green color circle and with a white color tick mark. So please click on that. Once you click, you have come out of your 2D workspace and you have entered your 3D workspace. But still I am able to see only 2D. So for that, go to this particular cube and there is an option known as inverted triangle. Click on that. Now you are able to see go home, orthographic perspective and all. And click on orthographic, and then on this particular cube you can see top. It means you are in the top view. If you want to change, click on this particular thing, and wherever you click on this cube, you will be entering that particular view. And based on these arrows, you can also navigate and rotate your models. So if you want to enter the home view, click on this particular home icon. If you click on home, the model will automatically enter into its home view. So this is the home view. And in the next video, we will see how you can perform the model operations on the sketch in 3D workspace. So that's all for this video. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked it, please subscribe and like it, give your comments, and it will motivate me that I am doing well, and it will motivate me to make more videos. Thank you very much.